When I was in high school, being a virgin, I used to think that sex is going to be something overrated. Honestly, I still feel that way today, except I'm not a virgin. It's not really exciting per se, it's really addictive. Out of fairness, I may have an addictive personality. Every time I've been single for periods of time, and I know I wasn't going to get intimate with anybody, the moment I finally decided to date somebody and then it's showtime, I feel like I got addicted to the experience. And it's like, I didn't really need to add this addiction or obsession in my life. I'm not saying it doesn't feel good. And that's the problem. It's addicting because it feels good. But it never really solves anything. It just makes things worse about the things you desire in life. As humans, we always crave stuff. In Eastern religions, this is commonly shunned upon, based on the principle that the reason why a lot of people are depressed or angry in life is because they crave too much. And I agree with this idea. We get needy and desirous as natural human behavior, and it creates unhappiness. When you have sex, you just start craving it more. Nothing really comes out of it besides potentially getting someone knocked up, getting sick, or building unnecessary dependency on the interaction. People act like, and this is a common problem with people who never had sex, they assume that losing your virginity will solve your problems. Now, I understand where this may come from. It may not be directly that you believe sex will fix your problems. However, you might feel that it will make your life better because it's something that will ideally feel good. So this is what I was mentioning earlier about cravings. When you crave something and you finally get it, it feels like life is better. And then you start craving it more and more and more, and you get attached to it. And look, I might just be generalizing for a demographic of people because truth be told, I feel like not everyone benefits from having sex. Rather, let's unfold a layer here. I also feel like many people who I feel like many people don't really benefit from being in a relationship either. You just end up getting distracted or stressed. Even if your partner isn't that type of person to distract or stress you. But dealing with someone else on such a deep and personal level can be very overwhelming and stressful for people who can't handle it, especially when you got a lot going on in your own life. Some people rather be alone and have peace doing whatever. And that brings up a point. If you are somebody right now, or you're at least self-aware of the fact that you feel your alone time is the most peaceful moment of your existence, you might be one of those people who don't really benefit from companionship like that. And I'm not saying don't make friends or don't at least keep your options available for relationships. I'm saying that not everyone finds resolve with other people. You have to realize that when you do meet somebody and you do end up having sex with them or get into a relationship with them, and you're gonna notice that, and tell me if y'all don't notice this as well, at least, all you will notice is that all your flaws and problems will just be emphasized even more. For example, if you don't have a good paying job and you start committing to someone, it's going to be harder going out with them unless they're always going to pay for dinner. Your job does not provide enough income for you to fully commit to a romantic lifestyle. And a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it's true. If certain attributes in your life don't have the fullest commitment, what makes you think you can add and fulfill a full romantic life? And if you still proceed to date someone anyway, you're going to start to realize the problems that you have, like being short on money, or the insecurities you have about yourself, or the messed up social life. These things are just going to become more noticeable to yourself. Having sex won't fix those issues. When I say a messed up social life, if you're somebody who is very isolated, you don't really have much friends, you're very to yourself, right? You start dating somebody, you're going to start having attachment issues, or you're going to be very elusive in the relationship, meaning you're a bit too wired to being or used to being alone, that you'll subconsciously avoid the responsibilities of committing to someone, which may spawn a lot of communication issues. And again, sex won't fix this stuff. I think I told y'all this story before. One time I was arguing with one of my exes, and from the first day I met her, she was extremely social. She had so many friends. Literally, she had a huge friend group and circle. Meanwhile, Aku, I'm over here with a single friend. I only had one friend in my life at that time period, and that person was online and lives in Europe. Okay? I'm an American, if you haven't really recognized that yet. And that's normal to me, though. I'm not the type of person to have big friend groups. I've always been that way, though. One or two friends and I'm good. Well, when we were arguing, she said to me, "This is why you don't have a lot of friends." And I was like baffled. Like, how is that an insult to me? Because I'm not socially available to everyone and their mother, I guess it's a way to insult me. I guess that's a problem. But see, this is what I mean. When someone is way different than you and you're dating them, you're going to notice things that they have or they excel in, and you don't. And we'll be the opposite way too. I was making more money than her. We weren't wealthy. I'm still not a wealthy guy, but I was making a decent amount more than her, right? She recognized that, and she always told me that she felt upset because she always thought about her current work situation. Think about it like this. Wouldn't you feel a type of way? Not necessarily jealousy or envy, but wouldn't you feel a type of way if somebody who you're around often or dating, they make a lot of money, and meanwhile you're making minimum wage or genuinely like a bad paying job or something like that? You're gonna think about like, dang, my job sucks, or man, I don't really make that much money. And you may get motivated by it too. You know, that's also a thing. And it's because, listen, you're starting to compare to what is in front of you. I dated this ex for like a year. Sex did not solve anything about it. It just made me more attached to her. It just made me more emotionally, I don't know, clingy to her. It never made me more money. It never made me more social. She tried to make me hang out with her friends. I said, no, I'm not a social person, bro. Like, you can call me stubborn for that, but you get what I'm saying, where there's a constant reminder of your own circumstances in life because you are trying to fulfill a romantic life at the same time. And you can't really do that all the time. People be like, if I get a girlfriend, all my problems will be fixed. Or if I lose my virginity, everything will get better. The only thing that will get better is your loneliness. Okay, loneliness is a big issue, right? That may actually start improving itself because you maybe get a girlfriend or you start, having sex, or your lust will be fixed, right? Otherwise, you're just going to end up adopting a new addiction. And don't get it twisted. Everyone does not have everything. What I mean is, you may date somebody, but you may not have it all. You may not have good mental health, money saved up, and so forth. You may be in a rough situation. Everyone has their own cards to play, and that doesn't necessarily mean you have to wait until you're ready to play your cards to go out there and date somebody or get intimate with people. The real problem is, if you're working towards building yourself, nothing good is going to come out of it if you end up slacking off. And some people, because I've seen this a lot and I've done this too, some people, they only work on themselves when they're single. Once they start dating, they get completely distracted from the main goal, you. That's how it started, and that's how it's going to end with you. But you start having sex, or you start getting distracted by somebody, and now you're throwing off your own consistency patterns. You get too comfortable. And you know what's going to happen if you're not self-improving, yet dating somebody? You're going to end up being a leech. Unless you genuinely want a sugar daddy or someone to literally take care of you and baby you, which I think is mostly a delusion, right? Y'all like that mommy girlfriend stuff. It's not, people got their own issues and their own lives to live. Most people don't want to take care of another grown adult, bruh. Do you? Especially considering their own responsibilities and life they have to take care of. That dynamic won't make everyone happy. Life is very stressful and complicated. Being someone's sex outlet or support while they're taking care of you will only go so far. Because believe it or not, and people who have been in long-term relationships, you can attest that I'm not lying when I say this. Eventually, sex between you and your partner will start drying up. Sooner or later, it doesn't hit the same. Sure, there are ways to spice that up, change the game up, but not everyone is willing to try new things. Sex just becomes a nice luxury in a relationship rather than something that relieves or exhausts stress and tension. It's not as exciting as it used to be. And yeah, sex can be fun and enjoyable in both senses, but it's not going to be the center of the universe. Look, is sex a nice experience? Of course. But you know what, y'all? When you're done having sex and wake up the next day, guess what? All your problems will still be here. The same problems from yesterday will also still be here. What's really sad about this whole cringe manosphere nonsense, these quote influencers will literally instill an ideology into you, whether blatantly obvious or subliminal. They will install an ideology that to receive fulfillment of life as a man is to basically get laid. Basically attract women as much as possible, y'all. Get laid as much as possible, and somehow magically your life will fix itself and you will be complete. A few simple things are forgotten about this idea or principle. One of them is that sex won't help people know what you're feeling. A lot of men have internal issues, trauma, loneliness, depression, and insecurities. You have sex, you might feel loved, but you won't be able to explain your own problems, even to yourself. You won't be able to mend any emotional or mental wounds you have, because sex isn't really about that, for most people at least, unless you're doing some romantic therapy sessions type of sex, which I don't know what that's about. And listen, I like sex too, a lot, but I've been in relationships where we were sexually active and our issues we had with each other, like deep issues, never ended up getting resolved. And then, like I said about boredom, eventually sex, it gets stale, especially with someone you're dating. Then what? Remember those deep issues you had with each other that y'all put off because of sex? Well, now you're going to get bombarded with these issues because sex ain't fixing it anymore for y'all. And meanwhile, since you relied so much on sex, you two are not used to or learned how to manage or deal with each other on a real deep interpersonal level. And then here we go. Your whole relationship with someone crashes out. I feel like, and I don't really expect people who never had sex to understand unless you've rationalized the points I'm making. I just feel like sex causes more problems than it solves. It's nice. It just brings difficulties. Let me know what y'all think about this. This episode is found on Spotify and YouTube. Times Square.
Nightmare 7 a.m. in the morning though. No surprise. Times Square's you and I under those lights. No disguise. Don't tell me everything you wanted was a lie. All those city lights, it's an endless night. Never expected you to bring me so much life. Close my eyes too long, then it's time to say goodbye. Let's dance all night until the stars don't show glow. Till the sunrise, then we go solo. Making up for all the times that we were low. Let's make some memories before we do go. Let's dance all night until the stars don't show glow. Till the sunrise, then we go solo. Making up for all the times that we were low. Let's make some memories before we do go. Caution. Wait a moment, keep my heart locked away, it's filled with emotion. Gave the key to you, right in front of you is open. Hey, try your best to not leave it broken. Oh, it's been a while since you know it's frozen.